you swap into prime Shaq.
Oh, the first thing I do is get naked and get in front of a mirror. Checking this body out. I want to see my feet. I want to see, there's so much I want to look at. I'm like, hey, Drake, suck this. I don't know why he even sings when you have a hog like that.
Yeah, I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big.
What is good? How you living? How you feeling? I'm going to waste no more time as we get into the big podcast with Shaq where we always do it. Bro, we've done it like 8 times already.
But what am I supposed to do?
You're supposed to say, all you're supposed to say is the word big.
Oh, big. Okay.
Okay,
Go
great.
back. See? Told you. Yeah, go back.
That laugh you hear, no, we're keeping all of this in. That laugh you hear from comedy legend, from college legend to comedy kingpin. He is the life of every party, even when there's no party at all. He's part Russian mobster, part shirtless sensation, and 100% red Kool-Aid. The only guy we know who can make a machine out of a man. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, Bert, the machine Kreischer.
Thank you.
Bert, before we get started, I owe you an apology.
Why?
I know your face, of course. I know who you are. Never knew your name was Bert.
For real?
Yeah, I never knew you because I came in there and I was like, bro, who the f- is Bert Kreischer? And then when you walked through the door, I was like, oh, him? You're a funny dude.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I
you
owe
very much.
apology for not knowing your name. Now I know your name and your face. Question.
Shoot.
Because I thought I was the number one party guy. Did Rolling Stone really name you the number one party guy?
Yeah.
And what's the criteria behind that?
It was when you were in, I think you were in Orlando then, 97? Yeah. I remember because I went to college with your coach from Orlando, Hill. I went to school. We were in the same fraternity.
Oh, okay.
Chris Hill and Ryan Hill.
Right, yeah.
And
damn.
so we were all Magic fans. Magic showed up when we were kids. Like when I was in high school, the Magic showed up. You and Anthony were one of my favorite names. Anthony Hardaway. Just Penny Hardaway was bad.
Yeah, he was.
And but you guys made Orlando fun. So we go to Orlando, go to Magic games, and because but I don't know what the question was.
Why
Party guy, Florida State.
Why are you trying to make me sound old, bastard?
You're not old. We're not old. We're
It
young.
was like when we were kids, man. We're the same age.
Do you know the movie Van Wilder?
Oh, I love that movie.
Okay, how about this? Came out while I was in high school,
Right.
changed the way that I approached college. It was based off of him.
Seriously?
Loosely, yeah, I guess. I didn't have anything to do with the movie. I didn't make it. But that
like
article.
that article that you mentioned.
Hold on. So the dog rolls.
I never saw the movie.
Based off of like that article, and you went for 7 years.
I was in college for like 6.5, 7 years,
Yeah.
and then moved to New York I tried stand up once. The article came out, changed my life, and moved to New York. And like 6 months later, Will Smith discovered me, and then I went like it was crazy. Especially like I was a huge Will Smith fan. Like he kind of was hip hop for when I'm my age. Is like the Fresh Prince, like that Nightmare on My Street was like a great song.
Oh, yeah, remember
and so then all of a sudden I went from hanging out with like working the door, met Will Smith, and then moved to LA back and forth, and then I've been in LA ever since.
The episode of Big Podcast with Shaq is brought to you by The General. And you know Shaq loves The General. Before the league and all my championship rings, The General was there for me when I needed them the most. They gave me my big break on insurance. The General has been offering quality coverage for 60 years with low rates and flexible options to keep you covered. If you're ready for your big break, you know what to do. Visit thegeneral.com today to get a quote. That's thegeneral.com to get a quote today. And it wouldn't be the Big Podcast without The General. Did you always want to be a comedian?
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an athlete, really. When I was a kid, I was real serious. And then I went to go to play baseball at Florida State, but the first day I was like, I'm not this. I remember the coach told me, I had a pledge pin on. He was like, you can take that shit off now. He was like, there's no partying on this team. And I was like, I think I'm going to focus on partying. I walked off that out of left field at at Florida State out of left field fence, back to my dorm room in Sally Hall, and my buddy Chili Willie was smoking. We used to do this thing called time traveling, where we had poked holes in tinfoil so it looked like stars on the lights, and we lay on the ground, and I had my uniform on still. I just got down on the ground with him, and I smoked. I was like, I guess I'm done with sports. It was
That
like
was the moment.
It was the moment I saw my cleats on.
You know what's crazy? You just taught kids how to time travel. I've never heard that in my life. Say that again, because I'm gonna try that when I'm smoking hookah.
You put tinfoil on the lighting. It was dorm lighting, and we just poked holes in it so it looked like stars, and it looked like stars. And we had like constellations built. It was beautiful. And then you just lay there, and you would believe you're outside. Like you can change your reality. And we used to time travel all the time.
So prime Shaq, we're talking 43 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists. College Bert partier. What would a college stat line be?
First of all, this was before me too, so I get naked a lot. like you can't do that anymore. Like this, you got to like ask someone, "Would you like to see my?" So like I got naked a lot. Like it was fun.
What
Man,
time of the night would you be fully nude?
dude, you couldn't.
Like 10 p.m. or are we talking like 1 a.m.?
Man, it's a great equalizer to just get naked, and especially if you have like a mediocre. Everyone's because you
funny at that
you
point.
make guys feel good. Some girls are like, I date that,
Yeah.
and then like
Shaq naked.
they shut the club down. Everyone's like, I guess I'm taking my ball and going home.
You could always blame it on the cold, Bert. You could always blame it on the cold.
I was one time I got naked. My was so small that people audibly were laughing, and I was like, I don't want this. Isn't a good look. Yeah.
Who are your favorite comedians?
Oh, easily Dave Attell's number one, but Sam Kinison, Pryor, Eddie Murphy, those are the legends. Mitch Hedberg, Dave Attell. I mean, there's guys today doing it that I love. I love. My best friends are some of the funniest people in the world.
Do you believe in the term internet comedian versus comedian,
No,
stand-up
not
comedian?
now. Maybe like 7 years ago I did, because I was watching that happen. Dudes would come in and they'd sell out the Schaumburg Improv on a Saturday at noon, and they'd come in like a goat outfit, and they'd be like, ah, and everyone would be like, oh, I saw it, and they charge $100 for tickets. And this is when I was making money on the road too, and I was like, how do I get there? To do a Saturday where all the dads are showing up and the merch goes clean. And now you look at guys that were big on the internet. Like I'll say a guy that I love, this guy, Trevor Wallace. He was big on the internet, and he's doing stand-up. His stand-up's legit. He opened for Tom and I at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, and he destroyed. So I think it shifts. I think it changes. You know, I think I found the internet early, meaning out of our generation, I got on Instagram and started promoting shows that way. And it would help sell tickets. And I kind of, when podcasting changed the game.
What's so cool is like, I'm sure the Van Wilder thing is annoying to talk about because I feel like you've lived so many different lives at this point. And I've witnessed you go through all of these stages. So you had the one where it's like, now we're on like Discovery Channel or Travel Channel or something like that. And we're doing a show, and then we have a podcast launching with Segura, and then it's like you got the Machine on Netflix, which had to be like a full circle. Like, how many lives do you think you've lived at this point?
Oh, I think about my funeral a lot. Like I think about like just someone who's like a casual, like dating one of my friends, and then he shows up and she's like, yeah, I knew this guy. And then they tell my life story and they're like, holy shit. Like I'd travel, when I worked at Travel Channel, I traveled around the world 4 times. Like I had a month where I went to Italy 3 times. I mean, I had a day, my Travel Channel show is like understated because we would do adventures of a lifetime. I had a day where I jumped off Moses Mabita Stadium, I rappelled off Table Mountain, and I swam with great white sharks. At the end of that day, it's called PTSD now. But at the end of the day, I was shaking on the corner of a bed like, do I jerk? Like, what do I do? How do I close this day out? And
So you got naked.
I got naked. I did some wild that I just forget about. Like, I remember Rogan was talking about this cave one time. I was like, oh, I slept in that cave. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, the world's largest cave in Vietnam. He's like, it's a 6-hour hike in. I was like, yeah, I did it. I slept there.
You slept in the cave?
I slept in this world's biggest cave. It's amazing.
All night.
Amazing. Yeah, we walked 6 hours into the jungle in Vietnam through a village. We went into a village where these kids had never seen a white dude. They'd never seen a beard, Shaq. So they thought I was Chupacabra. I came out of the jungle and they're like, oh, all the kids were scared. And then the guy goes, he's never seen, our translator his name was Titi. And he goes, they've never seen your beard. They've never seen a beard because they don't grow facial hair like this.
Wow.
So these kids were like rubbing my beard and then I go, huh, and they'd go, ah. And then I was feeding them Skittles. They never had Skittles. So I was like, dude, I'm about to change game. Get a Snickers bar out here. These kids are I'm going to blow their mind.
So if
You guys want to time travel?
So if they think you're Chupacabra, they're gonna think I'm Sasquatch if I walk in.
Buddy, you should do a show like that where you just show up into small remote villages and you're like, I'm your leader.
You know what? Me and you should do that.
Yeah.
Are you always like this?
Yeah.
You know what I feel like right now?
What?
The movie, the movie.
I'm sorry. Is this not what Allen Iverson talked about?
What movie?
Where he said, "Do we just become best friends?"
We just become best friends.
Step brothers.
If you went on an undercover...
Hang on, I got a secret time. There was a moment in Orlando when I was with a bunch of dads who sold boats, right? And we drove by your house. So you had a house on a lake. I don't forget what lake it was. And they were like, you know what Shaq does? They go, he takes his jet skis and he runs from the middle of the lake and he sees how far he can get it up into his yard.
It's true.
And I was like, I want to be his best friend. I go, that's my energy. I was like, can he get it into the pool? And they're like, I think he's got it into the pool.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 100% how his brain works.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, Shaq is like, because right when Tommy and I started doing our podcast, Shaq and Chuck were really blossoming on TV. Like I was the hot chip challenge.
Oh, I almost died.
It made me laugh so
almost
hard
died.
that I was like, I go, Tommy, we got to start being more like Shaq and Chuck. He's like, which one are you? I go, I think I'm both of them.
Yeah, which one would you say you are?
I'm definitely Shaq.
You're Shaq.
I got big confidence.
And then Segura is the Kobe mentality.
Yeah. So yeah, Segura's dead inside. He's changed. He introduced me to 2 billionaires the other day. I was like, who are you hanging out with?
I love the balance is key though.
Yeah. Oh, the balance is like, I'm a lunatic. We saw 2 gay guys one time. One guy was in khakis and the other guy was in jean shorts with a python around his neck. And Tom was like, if we were gay, which one would you be? I go, I'm a python guy. Definitely.
Shorts and
I
python.
go, who are you? And he goes, I'm khakis guy. He goes, that's why we work, because you're a lunatic.
Yeah.
And then I get done. We released a vodka. This is how Tom and I work as a
Congrats
team.
on that, by the way.
Yeah.
Me and him are twins. He has HDADDD. Yeah, he's all over the place. I love
We launched a vodka called Porosos, and we're sitting there having a marketing. It's a real company. Like we had to invest money in it. We have people that
Branding
work
looks
there.
amazing.
Thank you. We spent a year and a half building this vodka, and this is how our brains work. Tom goes, we should do a blind taste test, and I was like, oh yeah, bring a blind guy in and just give him our vodka. Don't tell him it's just ours. So whatever, he'll like it. And he was like, that's not what I was thinking, but that's actually a pretty good idea. So like that's how we work as a team.
Today's episode is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. As the NBA's most dominant big man of all time, I'm living proof that size matters. And the same should go for your law firm. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go for thepeople.com/BIG or dial pound law. That's pound 529 from your cell phone. Again, that's FOR thepeople.com/BIG or pound law, pound 529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement.
I asked ChatGPT what questions that Bert and Shaq would enjoy together. One of them that came up was, imagine you're both in a buddy cop movie. What are your character names and what's the most ridiculous situation you'd find yourself in?
Oh,
My character name would be my nizzle.
Okay.
Because I would love to hear him say, "What's up, my nizzle?"
So only to get him to say it.
Yeah. "What's up, my nizzle?"
The other one
What you
that
say?
The other one I liked was, you have to go on an undercover mission with Shaq in a foreign country. What is your cover story?
Oh.
Like, how would you try and hide the fact that it's Shaquille O'Neal?
Ooh. I dress him up as a wall. and he'd just stand up against walls, and people wouldn't notice until he just popped back out.
In every scene.
In every scene, I'd be like, Manizzle! And then he'd just walk out, and they're like, the wall's moving. And I go, that's why we make a great team. My name would be Squirts, and he'd be Manizzle.
Squirts and Manizzle.
Squirts and Manizzle. Someone draw up that artwork. I'll repost it.
Yeah.
We could sell it. The way the world's working, we could sell that to Netflix. I got Ted on speed dial.
Yeah, easily.
You know Bezos, you know Ted.
Yeah, let's get our billionaire friends together.
I feel like you're both similar in that,
do it.
like, you could be around really powerful, wealthy people, but you get to be yourself completely 100%. And then they're like, I love this. And everyone else is trying to like be more adult. And you're like, that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm broken. Like, I don't, like, there's just parts
Good
of
broken.
me. Well, yeah, good broken, but I don't realize I'm broken. Like, I shower in the pool.
You shower in the pool too?
Yes. Soap or no soap?
I'll take soap into the pool.
You do too?
Yes, all the time.
Can you guys explain pool showering?
Hold on. I'm calling Tommy right now. He has been so up about this.
No, because when I work out, my gym is in back. The pool is cold, so it's like a cold plunge. So I jump in, but I don't want to get out and then take a shower. So I'll just get some soap and just take a shower.
Calling Tommy. He's made fun of me for pool showers my whole life.
Really?
I was like, dude, it's the best.
Yeah,
Ice
it is
cold
the best.
pool.
Yeah.
Get in there, wake up. I got rituals. I swim from one side under the water and back to do my breath holds. Started in COVID. Yeah. And so, of course, he doesn't answer. I don't trust people who don't answer FaceTimes.
Yeah, I'm going to leave a message.
Oh, it's a FaceTime. I'll just send him.
I'm going to leave a message.
But you
There's
don't
no
have FaceTime.
messages.
I know how to leave a message. I know how to give me your phone, Bert. I know what I'm doing. Jeez. Swipe down. Camera's right there.
Yep.
You
See a
too.
picture of my.
Who am I talking to?
I look good today.
Who's this?
Tom Segura.
Tom Segura.
Hey, Tom, this is Bert's twin brother. I take pool showers too, so leave him alone. I'm going to kill you.
You didn't have to add that at the end, though. Shaq, you love ZipRecruiter, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's see if you can teach Bert and I something about business. If you were, because ZipRecruiter helps you hire,
Yes.
experience-wise, if you were to pick up someone's resume or you were going to meet somebody, what are you actually looking for first?
Personality.
Bam. Number one.
Personality. If you try to come in with the super, I'm educated and impress me, you're fired. I need personality. I need somebody that has a say-so.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Like in your summary, like, I don't know, I've never really done a resume because I haven't had a job yet.
Yeah.
And so, but like,
neither of you have ever had a resume.
Yeah.
I did one once.
HR has never been a factor in your lives.
Oh, HR was a factor in my life a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know you couldn't. Well, never mind. I had a couple conversations with Travel Channel. I talk wild.
You've been naked on 5 of the 6 shoots, and that's not in the script.
But I want a dude, if you're going to submit a resume, I want to laugh hysterically. And then that's what get you laugh. Like, I want your name, and then I need a nickname in there. Like, don't go in with like, I'm good at listening. I love teamwork.
I'm proficient in Excel.
Yeah, I want like, I'm afraid of snakes. Like, I want to know stuff about, I can hold my breath for 2 minutes. Like, I really hope that one day I get wrapped up into an adventure like Indiana Jones. And I'm like, yeah, I want to meet this guy.
Yeah.
You know, don't give me a boring resume.
Yeah.
I want something
Boring
wild.
to date your daughter, but not boring to work with you.
In the game of basketball, winning teams are made up of the right players doing what they do best. The same applies if you're running a business. To be successful, you need the right people in the right positions. That's why I count on ZipRecruiter to help me. They're a game changer. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds people with the right skills and experience for all their roles, so you get qualified candidates fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter for free, ZipRecruiter.com/BIG. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/BIG. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. So how many kids you got, Bert?
2.
Boys, daughters?
2 girls, snake eyes.
All right, I have a lot of children.
I told you, if Leanne passes away, God forbid.
Hey, no, we're not
God forbid.
putting-
I'm getting everyone pregnant.
Hello, Leanne, love you. And how old are your daughters?
I don't know. No, 19 and 17.
Oh, 19.
Oh,
Okay,
they're grown-ups,
what's your policy on dating?
Oh, 0. I have no policy. I'm I'm powerless. They do whatever they want. I just want them to be happy. Like I don't want them to I don't want them to bring home like a fan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I think they're pretty not in that area. Yeah. So, but like you forget how precious anonymity is. Like I'm sure you have it with your kids. Being someone's child, especially if you're like known as partying. When Georgia went to college, like dudes were knocking on her door every day, like I want to party with Machine. Georgia was like, that's not who I am. I read books. I've never read a book in my life.
You're a better dad than I am.
No, I wouldn't say that.
What's your reasoning for that statement?
Don't bring no boys to my house unless you got a master's. Don't want to see them.
Ooh.
At all.
Yeah, but you have the intimate, like a boy walks in here and he's like, hello, sir.
Oh, no, there ain't going to be no hello, sir.
No.
What's it going to be like?
Get out.
What if he's like 3-piece suit, well put together, he has a master's, and then he comes with the hello, sir?
I'll be impressed.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask him one question. What you trying to do? And based on his answer, I'll know if he's a shyster like I used to be or if he's real.
Yeah, it would be hard for people to get past you two. I feel like you've done everything and seen everything.
I invented.
Yeah.
I invented the game.
You ever see that movie? What's the movie where guy comes home with his daughter and then they bring him into the garage where all the bangers are?
Oh, yeah, 50 Cent movie.
Yeah, it's a 50 Cent movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to do that. Me and Squirts and Schnizzle should.
My nizzle.
It should.
I like this idea as a show.
Is like we do that.
People
We
bring their daughters
home, and then they go, "We'd like to talk to you in the garage." And it's Squirts and Manizzle,
Yeah.
and we're like, "What do you plan on?" Because then
And it's like there's only one of you, and then he comes off from the wall, yeah, and you're like, "What the?"
My favorite scene was from Bad Boys 2 when Will Smith and Martin. Can you fight? Yeah. You can't fight. How old are you? 15? You look at least 30.
So do you know?
I want to come up like Ving Rhames and Baby Boy and grab him in the lock and lick his head.
Do you know,
you soft, aren't you?
have you heard about this Jalen Green Drea situation? Do you know any of what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. I'll try to explain it. You fill in the gaps. There is a young star on the Houston Rockets in his early 20s that it announced has a woman pregnant. She is almost 40 years old. I want to say 39 years old.
Yes.
She has a son that is the same age as him. She has known to date famous athletes and stuff throughout, and there's been a strong reaction to people about this.
Yeah.
And I figure that you had definitely not heard about this at all.
Not.
And I was just curious, as a parent of like a 19-year-old kid.
I have feelings.
Yeah.
You don't steal someone's youth. You let them stay young. Look, we know stuff. You know how easy it would be for me, 20-year-old? I can impress her so much. Like, I could just take her, put her on a private jet. She'd be like, whoa. And then I'd be like, yeah, this is what we do. But I don't want to I would never do that. Because if you're 20, hang out with 20-year-olds. Go to spring break. Be broke. Have the fun you should have at 20. I look at that as a father. I don't want some dude coming in.
This kid is 20 and has like $100 million.
Yeah, but, dude, old chicks can...
Well, it was a second pick in the draft, so he's probably in the 50s, but he's looking at a $100 million payday.
Yeah, but there's, man.
What I have to say about that?
What?
Congratulations to the both of them.
Oh, that's what you're supposed to say online.
No,
Yeah.
it's just because I don't like being a hypocrite. I used to go for the older women too. So
really?
Yeah.
There's something they've got sorcery over us. My wife's older than me.
It's not sorcery.
I liked older women when I was that age too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't. Listen, he knew what he was doing. She knew what she was doing. Congratulations to both of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully the baby comes out healthy. But I think what's
There's a trend happening though. Him, Michael Jordan's son with Larsa Pippen. We are seeing right now the 15-year age gap where the woman's the older one. Like if Sharif came to you and said, I want you to meet my girlfriend, and she's 41 years old.
he won't.
She's Maya Angelou. And you're like,
Maya Angelou.
and I'd be like, wow, that's bad. I'm sorry, Maya Angelou. She's still alive. I feel bad. I hope she's still with us. I'm into Maya Angelou. Listen,
Apparently.
So we live in a sensitive world now. So do you think about things before you say them?
Nope.
Okay, good.
Apparently
good. Good.
I don't. My only
Me and you
intent.
could be best friends anytime you want.
My only
Give you my
intent.
number, brother. Call me anytime. Anytime you want to
Tell
hang
him
out.
the story, the Snoop Dogg story, when you showed up to a meeting and you realized that you could be yourself.
So we were at the Justin Bieber's roast.
Okay, Comedy Central.
Yeah, Comedy Central. We did that roast, and I love Snoop. I love Snoop. Snoop actually taught me a valuable lesson: be who you are. So because my father's a drill sergeant, it's professionalism. So I'm talking the top execs of Hollywood are there, and they're all just chilling, and I'm hello, and then we start to do the roast, and I smell and Snoop and Martha Stewart, they coming out, and Snoop's just going crazy, talking how he talks, and doing what he does, and shaking people's hands, and they're loving him, and I'm like, what the is going on? Like I thought that was the part that where you had to hide it and do it in the back. He's doing it on stage during the roast.
Snoop's,
and they were loving it, and I was like, you know what, that.
Yeah.
No more all the way corporate guy. Like I'm gonna still be corporate, but I'm gonna be Shaq. I'm similar to you, but I don't go as wild with the joke. Like you don't get scared saying some of the
Oh yeah, I regret stuff. I'll regret the Maya Angelou comment.
Yeah.
I'm certain I will. Like I'll get.
We're gonna put her in the thumbnail too.
But
It'll be a floating Maya Angelou head over your shoulder.
But how come we live in a world where people can't tell that's a joke?
I think it's starting to turn.
It turns.
It's.
No, that was a
I think
joke.
we're in like a 1 year run right now where it's starting to go the other way, where comedy's getting a lot more raunch, just more honest, and people aren't as afraid. They're not placating anymore. At least that's what it seems like from the outside.
I feel like everyone understands your intent. Like if we're here with Fauci, and I say, wow, that's a different conversation. Maybe I know that's the only big guy I could think of. But that's how stupid I am. I'm like, if Winston Churchill was here, but like I think I always land on, you knew my intent was to make you laugh. If it hurt your feelings, I apologize. I had a moment in Chicago. It was an all black club. It was called Riddles. And I was like bombing, and someone said something, man, I'm gonna whip your or something, and I was like, oh, I fought a black guy one time, and the room's like quiet, and I was like, yeah, it was at night, it was a tough fight, like I could barely see him, and I was like, I'm highlighted by the night sky. All I see is a thumbnail streaking through. I thought it was a shooting star. And so, but like you say it and then the room pops and you go, okay.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing. That's the fun part of comedy is like taking a chance and having it land and go like.
I fought a black guy and that's funny.
And then this big dude came up to me. He was like, you're funny, man. And he says something about, I'm glad you didn't make fun of disabled kids because I have a disabled son. I'm dealing with that. And he started talking to me about it. And I was like, you don't ever want to ruin someone's night. Like that's not my intent. My intent is for you to have the best night of your life. So I measure it in my head sometimes, especially if I'm taking it on stage. But like last night I was reckless. I was drunk.
So you're in Atlanta. You talked about Chicago. You're working on another special.
Yeah.
Does each city give you something different?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Atlanta's like my town because I all my buddies live here, and like there's so much great cultural history here. So like I just went through Atlanta, but you can't translate. Not everyone knows. My wife's from here too, and so not everyone. It doesn't translate.
Right.
Like you can do local stuff, but when you do a special, you got to do it for the person sitting on the couch. Like I have a few rules. I don't mention what city I'm in. I don't come up and go, "What's up, Cleveland?" Because if you're home, you're like, Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I tell a joke right away. I rip my shirt off. I tell a joke right away. I want a joke within the first 7 seconds of the special.
And how many Netflix specials do you have?
I think 5.
Damn.
5. Can I tell you? I was going to say that your Shaq and Cedric's All-Star Comedy Jam changed the way I did comedy. So it was 2006. I had Georgia and Isla were babies. I was sitting there. I was not making any money on the road. And on the list, and this is how pivotal, it was Tommy Davidson, it was Ari Spears, it was D. Ray Davis, and another dude, and Kevin Hart closed it. Now, this is, so I'm D. Ray energy, I'm Ari's energy, I worked the room, and they all did. If you remember this roast, or this comedy, everyone came up, worked the room. What's up with the pimp hat, where the girl, like everyone kind of played the room. And then Kevin Hart went up, and he talked about his family. And I was like, that's a weird choice. But then I realized, oh, that's the unifier. Everyone's got kids. Everyone has kids. And especially in that room, everyone's about the same age as him and their kids are the same age. And I went, you don't have to try to be edgy. You can just relate to people. And I get chill bumps thinking about it, but I had it on DVR. I used to watch the way he came up because he had great energy, but he was really relating to everyone. And I was like, oh, you don't have to go up and try to be the edgiest guy, which is what I was trying to do at the time. You can just talk about your life and it'll translate. And there's a few specials I've seen, but that one in particular.
It just hit you.
Yeah. I ran into Sed at a restaurant. My mom lost her. I don't even think she knew who it was until like I introduced them. She was like, "Oh my God, Cedric." My dad's like, "Who the fuck is he?" But I told him, I said that comedy thing changed the way I did stand up. If you look at what I was doing up until then, it was like horrible jokes. And then my next special, I told a story about my daughter putting her finger in the dog's mouth, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I got crazy kids too."
And your life changed.
And man, I made so much money off that one kid.
Say that again.
She was I walked into the room, there were babies. This is a good story. This is the first joke I had that took me to where I'm at now.
That's so fun.
I walked in, there were babies, and they're laughing hysterically. I go, guys, it's early. What's going on? George is like, Daddy, you got to see baby Isla's trick. I said, what is it? She goes, it's better if you see it than if we explain it. She goes, show him, Isla. So Isla, real quick, takes her finger, shoves it up her and puts it in the dog's mouth. I'm like, what the? She's like, no, calm down. You don't get it. I go, I'm a comedian. I don't see comedy in this. She goes, no, the dog doesn't know it. And I was like, okay, do it one more time. I wasn't watching the dog. Like I was watching the finger in the. So then, by the 10th time, we're howling and the dog's still taking it. Leanne comes down. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, you got to see baby Isla's new trick. She's like, what is it? George and I are like, it's better if you see it than if we explain it. You're not going to get it. So yeah, that joke I told, a good friend of mine, Ian Bagg, was like, that is where you should be going. Like, talk about your family.
When your kids start doing stuff, are you like, that's material?
Yeah.
Like, almost immediately.
Yeah, and then the struggle is to create it. Because like
that's what was the next process? Like it happens, you go, there's something there.
Some stuff was
and then what's the lab? Like how do you get in the lab and build out that joke?
So there are many interactions, and you get your interactions, and then you try to weave them into a story. So I'll give you a perfect example. I had 2 bits. One, Isla started putting her deodorant in the refrigerator, and I was like, what the f-? And Leanne's like, don't even ask. And then I saw her, she took her finger and rubbed it across, on the DL, rubbed it across the deodorant, rubbed it under her nose, put it, cap on, back in the refrigerator. I go, what's going on? She's like, mind your own business, and walks away. So I had this joke about that. And then one night I ate too many edibles, and Isla came into my room in the middle of the night, and I'm overserved. I mean, I like literally freaking out, and she comes up next to me. She's like, hey, I'm wide awake. Leanne's asleep. She goes, do you believe in time travel? I'm like, yes, I do. She was like, I go, why? And she goes, that's all I need to know. Good night. And leaves. And I was like, what the f-? So then I take those 2 bits and I mash them up and I go, now I'm laying in bed thinking there's a 33-year-old version of my daughter in her room. What did he say? Okay, your dad's going to die, but we can save his life. Take your deodorant, put it in the refrigerator. Time travel smells like we're going to rub it. Like, so you try to mash them up.
Yeah.
But you got to be free with it. She said something, I'm going to put this in the special. I haven't worked it out yet, so know that it's in its infancy. She said something so wild the other day. She goes, why do they still use dogs for canine units? I go, as opposed to? She said, gorillas. I could not stop fucking laughing at my visual, and this is what my job is, a gorilla in like a helmet with goggles on.
With like a vest.
With a vest. Just, and I was,
get him.
Yeah. They're like, Coco, calm down. And then you hear the terrorist going, okay, that does it. Is that a gorilla? Like, so like I got those, but then the work is, and that's why I do shows last night, because in a club you can around. When you're in an arena, it's very indulgent to around. I do it, but.
Right. Man.
What do you think about the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight that's coming?
I think it's awesome. I think it's
57?
awesome. Yeah. Oh, first of all, he's Mike Tyson. This is what. Okay. I
could watch videos of him training all the time.
Buddy,
it is intense.
There are a few athletes, him being one, where their highlight reel gets my card. Where I'm like, what the. Like,
so
this is
what
amazing.
Shaq plays really get you going.
When they did the doc, ESPN did the doc about him and Penny.
Rock hard.
Buddy.
So you watch Shaq slam it down?
Shaq with the delts, I mean, look, the old Shaq, when you got jacked again, that was pretty awesome. But like you young with that like just youthful energy, just owning that court. It was so fucking awesome to watch. Dude, like White Chocolate.
Yeah.
His highlight reels.
Yeah, he's nice.
Dude, I remember the Randy Moss,
Marshall. Yeah.
the commercial on Nike.
That was incredible.
And you're like, wow. But like Mike Tyson's highlight reels, when you watch him just duck and then come, it is so. And so like, yes, people go, but is it making a mockery? Who cares? I want to see it.
But if you're Jake Paul, you feel good about beating a 57-year-old Mike Tyson?
You think he's going to win?
No, I'm just saying, if.
No, that's a better question. Do you think Jake Paul's the favorite?
No, I don't think he's.
You just said Mike Tyson's 57, like he's got nothing left.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's 57 towards 60. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
you've seen him train. There's power in those punches.
But I'm saying if Jake Paul does happen to win, does he really feel good about beating a 57? I would feel. I really would.
Well, let me ask you this. You dominated a very similar era. You're younger than him. Do you think that Tyson can knock his out?
I know he can. Of course he
Do
can.
you think we'll get, because like if you were training for something, I know that you would take no prisoner.
Yeah.
Do we think we're going to get Tyson trying to knock him out?
I know we are.
100%.
So then I'm in. Like that's all you had
That's
to say.
why I'm paying $59.99.
100%.
And that first round.
If he walks out like old Mike Tyson with the music and the hood up,
how old are you? How old are you?
37.
So you don't remember. We remember the energy around a Mike Tyson fight.
That's what I mean. Like I have always, and I'll rewatch just like you were talking about.
Both of y'all are forgetting the word.
The entrance was longer than the match. And it didn't matter because you're like, we're about to watch the baddest dude on the planet.
Both of y'all are forgetting 2 words. Father time.
You're being real negative, right?
I'm not being wrong. I'm just saying, like, if we could all do it, I'd still be playing. Jamal, like I seen some Jamal Crawford highlights the other day. He'd still be playing.
Yeah,
Wait, what was the thing? What was the thing on your body that said, I'm done?
When I had to pump fake the dunk. When I had to pump fake to get up and down, and then I look at the stats and I got 9 points. I'm like, this ain't Shaq. This is Dwight Howard.
That's our time.
Yeah. I was like I was in Boston, like 9 points, 4 rebounds. I was like, man, I gotta go. So when I got hurt, I was actually happy I got hurt. I was like, ugh. And then I was at home. I was like, I got $1.5 million on this last year deal. Do I want to do a Shaq tour? Do I want to come back? Like, I'm done.
I love you. I love you. The second part of your career is more fun than basketball, I think. It's been you're such a joy. Like, who do you think, if you had to put it to the room, who do you think would be, if you could Freaky Friday body swap with someone, how much fun would it be to wake up as Shaq? And just be like, what? Why are my feet off the bed?
All right. Follow-up question. You swap into prime Shaq.
Oh, the first thing I do is get naked and get in front of a mirror. Checking this body out. I want to see my feet. I want to see, there's so much I want to look at.
I mean, I knew that was your answer. I was going to say, what's the first thing you
I do? I'm going to jerk off and I'm posting it online. I'm like, hey, Drake, suck this.
Were you intimidated by the Drake video?
No, I don't know why he even sings. When you have a hog like that.
You're the funniest I ever met in my life. I just met my twin brother.
I swear to God.
Shout out
Use
to
that in your
Playmaker.
comedy special.
Oh my God.
Use that in your comedy special.
Now is a perfect time for our segment, Ask Dr. O'Neill. If you have a question you'd like to ask Dr. O'Neill, you can leave in the YouTube comments for this episode or email it to askdroneil@gmail.com.
And my new counterpart, Dr. Bert.
That is why Doctor is here. Shaq is actually a doctor. Bert, have you ever been offered the title of doctor in any way?
When I did Florida State, I did their arena, and they brought me in, and they were like, hey, we have a present for you before you go on stage. And I thought I was getting a doctorate. I thought they were going to give me a gown and a cap, and they gave me the spear, which is so much better.
That is
and I just went up. This is right before Donald Trump got in trouble. I went out with a spear and led him in the chant, and I was sobbing, crying. I was
Florida State in the 90s, bro.
bro. I mean, like another highlight reel?
Yeah.
Prime time?
Oh yeah, remember him?
Like I got my guys. Like my guys. Like so you get to pick your heroes in life based on your age and when you're interested in things. So when it comes to football, all my heroes are young or much older. Like Doug Williams, Ricky Bell, Batman Woods, Leroy Selman, Mean Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw. Like those are the guys. That was when football was big for me.
Yeah.
When basketball showed up for me, is Shaq, Magic, Bird. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But like even some deep cuts like White Chocolate, like that was when basketball showed up for me. Comedy, it's like Bill Murray, Chris Farley, like that thing. But like my sports, man, there's some guys that are like my heroes, and Dion's one of them. Dion is
amazing. Shannon E. from Chicago S. Dr. O'Neill and Dr. Kreischer. My fiance gets mad at me because I want him to get a job. He wants to be a comedian and actor, and he thinks that a job would get in the way of his dream. I'm trying to be supportive, but we have a baby. And he's not making enough from his talent to help me pay the bills and take care of our child. Am I wrong here?
Oh,
I think get out of his way and let him follow his dream. I was that guy. I remember I was making $700 a week on the road when Georgia was born. I don't know why Leanne stuck with me. I don't know what she saw because I didn't see it. We was $700. I had to pay for my flight and the hotel. Leanne was working a job where she paid, or we got free rent because she worked in the building. And I just was like, and then when I started making money, I go, "Did you ever think this would happen?" She was like, "Yeah, I believed in you." And you got to have that ride or die who's like, "That's my guy. I believe in him." And I am so grateful. I was a penny stock that multiplied for her. And so like I would always say, if you don't follow your dreams, you're not living your life right. You know, and your dream doesn't have to be a comedy star. I have so many friends that make great money doing comedy and they love what they do. Not everyone gets some awesome opportunities, but you can just make great money. Like great money. Like you can make $1 million a year being a comedian. That's great money. Incredible. That's great money. You can make, I remember I did the math wrong and I was like, I'm making $125,000 a year doing stand-up. I got all my dates. And Leanne's like, "No, you're not. You got to pay taxes on that. You got to pay agents. And you're really making like 50 grand. And I was like, what? But I remember that moment of pride of like being like, oh, I can, like, I still don't really know how much money I make. Yeah. Like I don't buy things. Even if I buy something, I got to go, can I afford this? And they're like, yeah, you can. Yeah. You know, I look at this house. I told you my finances. I will have a house in Bowden, Georgia that is I will just live there. This is a dream. This is a dream.
You need to go see the closet.
Buddy, if I was going to creep or break into someone's house, it's this house. I would love to explore it. I would love to see everything.
You're going to go upstairs and be off in front of your mirror.
You caught me.
I'm Shaq.
I'm Shaq.
And I think to add on to that, if you force a person to do something and they're not really doing what they thrive to be doing, the relationship will fail eventually at some point. So I agree with him. You have to stick with him. But
and times change.
Yeah.
Like if you had said, I mean, think about it. And this really goes to you, but like when you got in the league, if someone had pulled you aside, I remember you talking about I know a lot about you, but I remember you talking about your first check. You bought your dad a car, you a car, and then all of a sudden you were out of money. And you were like, how did that happen? If you had said to one of the old heads that ran commentating on basketball at the time, probably some old white guy who liked to get tied up and would bite chicks, I think. What was that, the guy? And so, yes,
downtown.
Come here.
I'm going to say his name.
I want to be the sub. So, but if you had said to them, you know, one day, Shaq and Charles Barkley, they'll be running, they'll be the head, they would have said, no, I don't think so. You look at the way sports has changed. Pat McAfee changed the game. I mean, he's like the biggest thing on ESPN, and he was a punter. Like, and I mean that with respect. One of the best punters ever. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and
he held for field goals.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, gangster punter, real gangster punter.
Yeah, he would like punt and then do like the Connor walk. Like he was
bad.
Back when personality wasn't fully embraced in the NFL, he was the only special teams guy.
Yeah. But like things change and things evolve and people's dreams show up in a brand new way. If you told me when I got into comedy that that I'd be launching a vodka and that I'd have podcasts and movies and things change, you know, and so let someone follow their dream and let them be happy. You don't need, look, my favorite house I have is our first one we bought. 1,900 square feet, big for us when we moved in. Every other house I have, I look back at that house, I go, that house had so much love in it. And you go like that. You don't need millions and millions of dollars to be happy. You just got to wake up every morning and be inspired for what you do. And you should inspire your wife to do whatever she wants, and she should reciprocate, I think.
Good point, Dr. Kreischer.
You like it?
Yes.
I want to end with this. I know that coming and hanging out with Shaq, especially for someone like you, is a big deal.
Yeah.
I want to get the out of the way. Is there anything that you've always wanted to say to Shaq, or you've always wanted to ask Shaq that this is the perfect time for it to happen?
Before you answer, I give you permission to say whatever the hell you want to say.
No.
No, when you
Well,
talk,
starting
no,
now.
Please, no. I'm talking about in any one of your stand-ups, you want to say anything crazy about the Shaq, you have my permission.
No, I honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed. Like all my questions are like, I think I got them out. Like, you know, like I don't know. I just, everything about, like when you talk about Snoop, he's one of my heroes, you know? And when you hang out with someone like that, it's so much better to just shut up and sink it and drink it in. Like I remember I was trying to rap Snoop's songs back to him. He's like,
let me hear.
He was like, I did not say that. And I was like, you sure? And he was like, I wrote the song. And I was like, you drop rhymes like potatoes? And he goes, why would I say that? And I go, you said it. I'm certain you did. And then I played the lyric for him and he was saying it back. He's like, I didn't say, I dropped rhymes like bombs. I thought you said potatoes. He was like, why? And then got to hang out with Snoop. I'm going to tell you my favorite Snoop story ever real quick.
Yeah.
So George, my oldest, got caught smoking. And I was with Snoop when I found out. And I was like, I was on the phone with Ann. I was like, I'm going to light that up. We're going to make her cry. I go, where'd you get the weed? She goes, she's a thief too? I was like, all right. And Snoop looked at me and he goes, no, you're not going to do that. Not to my niece. He's like, what's happening with you is you got a bunch of feelings as a dad where she doesn't need you anymore. She's growing up. And that's with your head as a man and as a dad. And what you're about to do is take all that broken shit and take it out on her, and then she'll resent you. And I'm sitting there going, when did you become a doctor? Like, I thought we were just going to and spray champagne on but like, so sometimes when you just get to be around greatness, you get to be better. All my questions about Shaq, like I just want to get his number and I just want to keep texting.
You can have it. You can text me anytime you want. I don't sleep.
And you don't sleep for real?
No.
How bad is your sleep?
Well, it's not as bad. I just stay up and smoke my hookah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was with
People always tell me, oh, you need to take melatonin. I'm not taking nothing to help me go to sleep.
I was with.
Good thing about me not sleeping though is I always get 6-7 hours in. So,
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so I went to bed about 4 last night, woke up at 12:51 and came down here at 12:58.
Do you listen to podcasts when you sleep?
No.
I do.
You know?
I listen about the Spanish flu today, Dr. Seuss, the French Revolution. These are all things I slept to. And
You retain it in your subconscious?
Well, kinda. Like I could give you information, but it's not accurate. Like you're like the things I tell you in history, you're like, I'm not sure that really happened. I was like, the Spanish flu was all started by a cook.
This next answer is going to determine if we're best friends or not.
Okay.
Are there other life forms, yes or no?
Yes. I almost got tricked into Scientology that way. I was at a party with a bunch of Scientologists and I'm drunk and they're like, I go, so you guys believe in aliens? And then the guy's like, well, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you believe in? And I go, God. And he goes, do you think like Jesus was like a dude? And I was like, well, yeah, I go, yeah, it's up for interpretation. And he goes, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in other life forms? I went, yeah. And he goes, so you kind of already believe in my. And I was like, God damn it, this is how they get you.
Yeah.
I was like, do I get to meet Tom Cruise?
Your social media girls over there going, this guy.
So I've mentioned this a few times. It needs to happen. What do you think happens when Shaq goes to the zoo? If there's one animal that's going to react, you mentioned it earlier.
Trying to get me canceled?
No. It's one of our favorite stories. We're going to go to the Atlanta.
All the animals are going to be like, how the did he get out? Wait, get over here. Unlock my cage.
No, bro, so that's what happens.
With the
Are you
gorillas.
serious?
Yes, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
By the way, you can edit this out of this guy doesn't want it. One of the funniest things ever is you guys had Jeff Ross at that roast for Emmett Smith.
Yes.
And he said a joke that he goes, I took Zach to Siegfried and Roy. The lions were barking at him. I laughed so, but the fact that Shaq was loving it made it like his welcoming attitude would be like, I'd love to go to the zoo with him.
Every zoo I go to, gorillas try to kill me every time. Every time.
Run right up to the window,
run right up to the
slamming on it.
Yeah, I'm like, how'd you get out?
Willie B's like, what?
Yeah.
But I love that the zoologist told you, the zookeeper, that they think that you're going to challenge them for their women.
Yeah, no, it's true.
The zookeeper said that?
Yeah.
What zookeeper was this? Well, the balls on that guy. He thinks you're coming after their women.
It was one in Spain. It was albino.
Wait, you go to a lot of zoos?
Oh, yeah, all of them. All of them in the world. This.
I made a gorilla laugh one time. When I was on Travel Channel, yeah, we went this gorilla enclosure in Miami, and he's back there, and he's like, yeah, something about their teeth. If they lose their teeth, they can't mate anymore, and they're depressed. And I was like, I can make people laugh. There's a video of it. And I was like, and I started doing a gorilla impression to him, and the gorilla went like this. And I was like, shut up. I just transcended.
Yeah.
I would love a gorilla. It would be awesome. Like to have a gorilla, carry me around. When I'm having an anxiety attack, he just gets in the bed.
When you're good, he can go with the police. And
yeah, let me tell you. I went to the zoo with my daughter when she was young, and there was a blind person there. And my daughter said, what do you think attracts that person to the zoo? I said, what do you mean? She's like, the smells? Like, she can't see anything. And I went, what? She was a child. I was like, what kind of brain do you have where that's what you saw? Yeah, that's
good stuff.
Yeah, she
sounds like she has a
she'll never get on stage. She is, both my daughter, Georgia is funnier. Georgia is the reason I can do stand. Like my closing bit for my last special, I went to an escape room. I didn't even have it as a bit. Georgia called from college. I'm on stage. I go, what's up? Your kid calls. I answer it.
Yeah.
I go, what's up? She goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm on stage. She goes, oh, are you telling the escape room story? I said, no. Why? She goes, you should tell it. You remember we brought Papa there so he'd lose his shit? I went, oh, yeah. She goes, you remember Papa threw Nana into a steamer trunk? I went, yeah. She goes, remember you almost pants and you almost in Papa's mouth? And I went, oh, yeah. And the room's popping. I go, wait, slow down. What else happened? Like, George is that brain.
Yeah.
Isla is just out there. Just out there.
I had a lot of fun with this.
Yes, thank you,
This has
brother.
been a dream.
I'm glad that you guys got
true.
to meet. This is some beautiful
This
shit.
is like,
I said, I know who you are. Like, I've seen all your job, but I just never knew your name. Because I'm always like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, so it was a pleasure to meet you. And you actually got my number. You call me. You live in L.A.?
Yeah.
You got to hang out. If you got any movie ideas, I know people.
This buddy cop needs to happen. So either Netflix or Amazon. Like y'all need to figure this out.
Buddy, I can get a movie greenlit Monday. Dude, let me tell you.
I'm in.
What about you two just go to different zoos in the world? And I don't know exactly what happens after that. That's where the comedy comes in. But like, just you guys locked in zoos at night.
Oh, at night?
Yeah. Come on, there's something that could happen.
There's a Night at the Museum movie made for this.
Yes.
Where we get locked in a zoo at night.
Yes. Hilarity ensues. Coming up this fall on Amazon Prime.
This is, like out of all the things I've done in my life, and I've done a lot of really cool things. I've gotten to hang out with really cool people. This is the high water mark. This is like awesome, man. You're a legend, and it really the fact that I even made you giggle a couple times. I'm done.
Funny.
But BertBertBert.com.
Yep.
You're going on tour right now.
Tops Off World Tour. It's an arena tour. I got maybe 4 more months of it. We're hitting everywhere. You can get my tickets at BertBertBert.com, and then I shoot my special in Florida.
Where in Florida?
In St. Petersburg at the Mahaffey. We're doing.
When day?
July 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I might have to come,
buddy.
Look, I'll say this right now. Shaq wants nothing more than for you to like make fun of him somehow.
Yes, please.
That's what gets him off.
Yeah,
he loves people are on stage being like this big dumb idiot. Like so, if you work some Shaq material, he will show up.
Well, I got a pretty good gorilla joke I'm working on.
Yes.
If I got your green light, Shaq, let's go viral.
Yes, do it.
If you want to go in his bathroom to develop the joke more, you can do all that.
Can I introduce one of your friends?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Dustin Timberlake.
Dustin.
Cry me a river.
Dustin Timberlake might be the best nickname ever.
Nice to see you, brother. Thank you. All right, Bert. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's a great equalizer to just get naked, and especially if you have like a mediocre.
You could always blame it on the cold, Bert.